Hello, my people. Before we begin, in case you want to know more about me and InterBePaws, please check our introductory video on the same channel. Today, I'll take you to the beautiful city of Delhi, the bustling capital of India. Far away from these crowds, on the outskirts of the city, I had the pleasure of meeting Divya Sarthi, the founder of Tales of Compassion. Over the past 6 years, their primary focus has been on providing a home for old, special needs, and paralyzed dogs. Approaching the premises, I noticed dogs leisurely lounging around, while wheelchairs hung on the shelter walls. I knew I had reached my destination. I had the opportunity to engage in a brief conversation with Divya, starting with how her journey with Tales of Compassion began.
Starting an NGO is not an easy thing.
Yes.
And there are, like I always tell them, there are animal lovers are generally crazy. But then I think there are people who are even crazier who jump into something like this where they actually start a place. Because see, at the end of the day, starting is not the problem. To maintain it, to sustain it is what the problem is, right? We all miscalculate. We think that, okay, I've saved so much, I'm going to start this place. And then the funds that have to keep pouring in, that's a big challenge. So yes, we all used to be rescuers at one point. We all used to take dogs to other NGOs and doctors and all. So euthanasia is something like everybody goes for. Jaga nahi hai, okay, let's just euthanize them because so that new dogs can come in. And of course it's not similar to what we have abroad, because there they give them 6 months time, nobody adopts them, euthanize them. That's not the concept here. But still, the minute a dog is paralyzed, euthanize. Acha, he's too old, euthanize. People doctors actually suggest this, and then people won't know, right? They just think that, okay, acha, doctors, they know best. So a lot of people don't even realize what they're getting into. So then, and I never like seeing animals in cages, whether they are being treated or whatever, they are there permanently. Either you take a place and you give them the space, or you just don't keep them at all. Shoving them into small cages, it's not okay. I mean, the only reason an animal should be in a cage is, let's say they need rest, like we have a fracture, we need to be in bed. Dogs don't understand that they have to sit in one place, so we have to bicharo ko lock them up or something like that. Otherwise, some treatment is going on. Let's say there's a temporary fight, like you said, a timeout, that's all. Otherwise, they should always be free. Everybody should be free. That's how the system should be.
So that was your motivation when you went to other NGOs and you saw that, and then you want to do something different.
That pissed me off. And then, like in that process of where you're deciding to set up a place, you're still figuring out what to do. And then somehow, it just comes to you. It's like a eureka moment. Then you're like, okay, who needs us the most? Like paralyzed dogs and senior dogs. Baki, if humans are generally, if they are nice, then most dogs and animals can be on the streets. It's those that, let's say, even if you are nice and taking care of dogs, but if they meet with an accident, they can't be on the street. So then we're like, we started focusing on that. Of course, initially when you start, your focus is all over the place. You're like, okay, we took some young dogs initially, and then we realized, okay man, no, young dogs actually, if they are taken care of by people, if they are given food and they have a good place, then our main focus should be like paralyzed dogs and senior dogs that have nowhere to go. So we try our best, senior dogs to make them as comfortable as possible.
And I see that here you almost have, I mean, these are paralyzed dogs, but we just saw how active they were when I came in, the energy that they had. And now they are definitely resting. But in between, we of course met a lot of them who were ready to get as much attention as possible.
Exactly. And you have to be here during meal times. They will go nuts. Like 5 o'clock, let's say here. Okay, it's evening time. The sun's gone, and it's the time of the day is changing. They'll all be out here. They'll be playing. I'll share those videos with you. You will just feel so content. Because a lot of people, they tell us, oh, I love dogs and I love what you're doing, but I won't be able to see them like that. So I tell them, no, come. Like, you're totally that's some misunderstanding. If you're thinking that, oh, they're paralyzed and they must be like sad and in a corner, I'm like, no, you have to come here. You have to meet them. Please see how crazy they are. And then you will just be like, oh my god, they're as crazy and as energetic and as happy as just any other dog. It's just a bit of a obviously there's some challenge,
Yeah.
but then they don't see it like that.
But even now, they have this on the face. There is a certain level of peace and calmness. Basically, these are not dogs on the streets that we always see that are scared and are a little nervous. They are not nervous dogs. They are pretty calm and peaceful. We see that right now. But
And that should be the objective
Yeah.
for anybody at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That I mean, this is not just for myself. Of
Yeah.
course, this is what we preach and we follow. But I think any NGO, any shelter, any boarding, any place that's for
Yeah.
any animal,
Yeah.
the ultimate objective at the end of the day should be that the dog should be happy.
Happy dogs in their own happy place. Right, Divya?
When I imagine that if I have my own place, okay,
Yeah.
I want like a nice, like houses built all over the place, not these kacha houses, because we know we are moving
Yeah.
in, like in an year or two,
Yeah.
we have to break the wall. So we feel like, okay, if we can just take out every single brick, because
Yeah.
single thing is money.
Yeah.
So I imagine if we have a place, there'll be like nice rooms built, pakka
Yeah.
rooms
Yeah.
with proper roofs and everything, and I totally imagine how the place would be, and I just want that to happen as soon as possible. So
nice.
we
But running a shelter of this scale, you said almost 100 plus dogs, and that too you were just now talking about the challenges of having especially senior and paralyzed dogs. But what are the biggest challenges, if you had to talk about, say, the 3 biggest challenges you see in running the operations here or running the...
see, I think the first challenge, I don't even have to mention for everybody, it's finances.
Yes.
Because see, to an outsider, okay, to send a dog here means dogs, medications and food, right? They may not realize or calculate that the rent, the salaries, and a small thing, for example, there was some surge in electricity, so all our motors and lights, everything, we had some sort of a fuse or whatever, the technical term, and then literally we spent 20k on just repairing things, getting new stuff. So every month there'll be like 30 to 40k, which is just random stuff. Like now we got a new pressure cooker, it's 80 liters,
Okay.
like it's huge, and I want to give them healthy food, vegetables, dalo, this,
Yeah.
that, and all. So I'm just saying, so finances, I think, without saying for every organization, that would be number
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Okay, manpower, the right kind of manpower is very important.
Okay.
And like I said, I am very grateful
Yeah.
that they have learnt, because see, a lot of people face this challenge that the workers that they have,
Yeah.
they themselves come from such economically poor backgrounds. For them, saving themselves is so important. I don't think they even understand the pain of an animal.
Yeah.
Okay, so to be able to make them see what we see, to be able to treat them the way we do, like if you see how they pick up the dogs, they pick up like we would pick up a
Yeah.
baby, because we watch them, we tell them that, listen, this is how you're supposed to treat them. Treat them as your kids. Okay,
Yeah.
but the bigger thing is, if we are able to see, we changed, I think, maybe 7 or 8 people's thinking,
Yeah.
and that's a big achievement, because to convince someone to actually care for an animal is difficult, to the point that if these guys go outside and they saw some dog lying, had
Yeah.
met with an accident, they called me and they
Yeah.
said, what do we do? I was like, okay, let's just treat him and put him back. So we do that. Exactly. But like I said, manpower is a challenge, but to get more manpower is a bigger challenge, because see, like I said, salaries would be minimum 10k, and we've tried our best to keep them happy in whichever way we can,
Yeah,
because happy employees means happy dogs,
Yeah,
or for
Yeah.
that matter, anything.
Yeah.
So we give them good bonuses.
Yeah.
We sent, like this time I got some funds, so I sent 20k to their families, each person.
Okay.
So these are the little things we try to do for them, which makes them understand that, okay, they take care of us, so we also need to do our job,
sure.
and make sure the dogs
Yeah,
are happy.
yeah.
So I am to get one new guy.
Yeah.
It's a big challenge, because to convince people that come and work with dogs. On top of that, like I said, money.
Yeah.
I have to we have to figure out each person's salary.
Yeah.
10k is the minimum that anyone would get, and they're on 13k, 15k.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be able to pay that is a big deal.
Yes.
So now right now I'm working on finding salary sponsors. So
That was my next question. One was that there are a lot of people who are not physically in Delhi, for example, who live outside, and even outside the country, but they always have a thing of coming and trying to see how they can actually help or contribute towards the animals of India, because they've seen it themselves.
Yeah.
So for such people, what are the different ways that they can get involved with you? Are there any projects going on? You just briefly mentioned salary sponsorship, for example.
Yeah, so see, there are virtual sponsorships, there are salary sponsorships. So what they have to understand is, yes, they are sending a particular amount for a particular reason, but at the end of the day, it will become like a, like a pool. So we'll spend it accordingly.
Yeah.
So what we do is, let's say if they want to sponsor dogs,
Yeah.
which is a major requirement, because out of the 105 dogs, I think less than half would be sponsored. When people bring the dogs, we have to request them. We tell them that please, like, this is not a funded organization, meaning we don't get support from government and all. So what we have set up is our own work. The sponsors that we find is our own work. Because see, for a paralyzed dog, it's not just about food. Okay,
Yeah.
they will keep hurting themselves because they'll run around, and
Yeah.
we keep them free.
Yeah.
That bandage that we do every day is also money. The betadine that goes into
Yeah.
cleaning wounds,
Yeah.
okay, the diapers, the pee pads,
Yeah.
the medication. So like I told you, if a dog is sick, we don't let go. We will do everything for the dog till his last breath, okay, or her last breath. Meaning, if the dog is low on hemoglobin, we will keep pumping whatever is required into his system, so that, if, I don't know, people may say that dogs don't think like us, but I don't. The dog
Yeah,
should
yeah.
in his head know that they are doing everything for me.
Yeah.
Like, that's how we like to think.
Yeah.
That if I want to say it in Hindi, कि जाते जाते उसको ये लगना चाहिए that इन्होंने मेरे लिए मुझे ऐसे रखा
Yeah.
राजा की तरह.
हाँ.
Sorry, I'm getting moved.
मैं emotional हो रही हूँ. I can imagine. And actually when I entered, I also saw a dog. You showed me that, and thank you, because I know it was a difficult day for you, for that dog to
Yeah,
be,
I know.
not eating today. But I still, even in that dog, I know he was in pain. But even in that dog, I saw a certain level of peace. I cannot say how amazing it feels that the same dog, if he was on the side of a road, it would have crushed my
It
heart.
would have been so.
But
I
today, to
know.
see him here, I know he's going through a difficult time. But I'm still thankful and grateful that he's with you today. So I know what you're saying.
I guess we can, only save like probably 150
Yeah,
dogs.
yeah.
But I always tell people, at least जितने हमारे पास हैं,
Yeah. One
they
dog at a
should
time.
be happy.
That is amazing. So one thing also, Divya, it came to my mind. I see your energy. You are young, energetic, and passionate.
Yeah.
What is the dream that you have for it in future?
I really hope it's not way ahead in the future, and it's just near future, because see, we keep shifting farms. It's just impossible to buy your
Yeah.
own property, for an NGO and all, because as you know, it's just crores and crores, man.
Yeah.
Like this property that we are on is
Yeah.
probably like 4 or 5 crores. Okay. And we have to keep a lot of things in mind, that you don't want to be so far away that the place is inaccessible
Yeah.
for visitors. Or let's say, you want, like right now our doctor is 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
The shops are like 5 minutes away. The pharmacy is 2
Yeah.
minutes away. The guys can go out and relax themselves because they have markets and everything.
Yeah.
So, so many things you have to keep in mind when
Yeah.
you are considering a place. So we want to have our own piece of land. Just because it's our own land, it's not like, you put in like 50 lakhs and it's a small place, because it has to be this big for the dogs to be free.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They should, like right now I can keep 200 dogs,
Yeah.
and the place will still not be crowded.
Yeah.
They'll all have their own space. They'll
And
all
I
have
saw
their
that you have
own
not
water.
kept any dogs in cages. You've not tied any of the dogs. All of them are free to roam around, and they're loving that. All of them are loving that. Yeah.
And then that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
Like how people buy birds and put them in cages. Like the point of those guys having wings is for them to fly. So then how are you going against things like that?
Yeah.
So yeah, our dream is actually like to be able to raise enough money to have our own piece of land, so that we waste so much money shifting.
Yeah.
All that should be cut down. We can construct it the way we want to. I want to hire more people. Like right now we have 7. One guy is on leave, but we have 7 guys. But trust me, when you have paralyzed dogs, like you need so many more hands.
Yes.
Just to we've made it a point that, let's say if there is there's a surgery, or if there is an amputation, dogs, they don't want to sit in cages. We literally have one guy sitting with the dogs. 2-3 dogs surgery, why they're sitting with the guy, so that nobody feels like, some of them scream when they're in cages, so we hate it. So imagine one guy is just sitting there. We've lost one guy for probably 2 weeks.
Till the time he recovers.
Yeah. So there's so much to do. So as of this point, I think I really want, like, you know, with the 105 dogs, I want at least 9 people, because they're managing beautifully. But those extra hands is so necessary. Like, we have 2 bulls and goats also. So one guy has to go out, take them out for their grazing and, you know, whatever. Then, like, see, one guy would get busy with cleaning, one guy medication. Dogs that can't eat, we have to feed them with our hands. So, you know, we need to have at least 9 people.
And you also talked about them, they need help to even let go, you know, for their peeing and pooping also they need help. In winters they need extra help.
Extra hands. So the more people we have, the easier things would become. Like, you know, we can have like 5 or 6 guys just focusing on the dogs, and the other guys can do all the other kinds of work, you know, just going to the market, fetching stuff. So the main focus is, one, to increase the number of employees, and like you said, if people sponsor workers, which is like a huge amount, because for each worker we have to keep set aside 10 to 15k. I'm talking about minimum. So imagine spending 1.5 lakhs just on their salaries. So if, like, right now we have 3-4 sponsored, but even the current ones, we still need more people. I need more people who can sponsor more employees. So at least 9 people, and of course eventually our own place.
I have no doubts about it that you will be in the new place.
On that positive note, filled with hope and aspirations, someone approached Divya with a very special demand.
All of them love going out for their little drives in the evening.
Okay.
So I have to take about 12-15 of them for their car ride.
Okay.
Otherwise, if I leave now, if I pick up my bag, they'll come and stand there, gateway. So they'll be like, you know, first take us out. So he's one of them.
Okay. And what's his name?
Disco Dino, because he's always just
Disco Dino. Hello.
Disco Dino.
Yes. Yes, Disco Dino. Oh.
अब आ जाएंगे सारे, you know, hang out and they'll play and everything.
As the sun began to set, the temperature grew cooler. Most dogs woke up from their naps, sensing that playtime was about to commence. Witnessing these dogs run and play was equally both surprising and also amazing. Most, if not all, have experienced trauma, road accidents, cruelty, or some form of inhumane treatment. Yet, observing their transformation was inspiring in itself. These dogs exemplify living in the present. And alongside this transformation, I saw the person behind it all, Divya, a truly compassionate soul. She's intelligent, enthusiastic, and steadfastly focused on her goals. Divya, thank you for granting me your time. Most importantly, thank you for bringing happiness into the lives of these lovely dogs and peace in their final moments. Till we meet again.